I'm Diego, developer advocate here at Scaleway, and I'm joined today here by Rata here at
Hi.
the AI conference AI Pulse. So nice to have you here. You
Thank you,
had a
Diego.
great talk a few minutes ago, and I wanted to grab you to continue chatting about, in this case, data.
With pleasure.
Absolutely. So can you introduce yourself, please?
Also, I'm Ratar, co-founder and CEO of Differs. So we build solutions to help retailers find the right sale price for each product so that they can maximize their margin, that they can get rid of products that they cannot sell. Yes,
All
that's what we
right.
do.
All right. So I wanted to begin asking you, are e-commerce retailers aware of how valuable the data they have is?
I would say not all of them. It depends on the size of the e-commerce, I would say. But what we're doing is pricing optimization, right? Big e-commerce, they did it in-house for quite some years already. But the smaller e-commerce, they have data which like oil for them, but they don't have necessarily capability to have in-house
Mm-hmm.
data scientists or a lot of budget to pay expensive consulting companies to build that important use case for them, but depending on which e-commerce. But for our case, for example, pricing optimization, smaller e-commerce, they have data. What they're missing is capability, and what they need is on-the-shelf solutions like us. And it's a PT, but for us, actually, we see that we can help increase revenue by 15%, which is huge,
Yeah,
right?
that's good.
And only with the data that e-commerce already have plugged into the system, have the right price for each product computed by AI, and use it to gain plus 15% revenue.
What are
And
the sorry? What
yes,
are the main factors that you take into account?
so we take into account internal and external
Mm-hmm.
factors. The most important data actually is the transactions. It's the internal data of e-commerce,
Mm-hmm.
but surprisingly, it's not what e-commerce thought,
All right.
because they think that they should always adapt to competitor pricing.
Okay.
I think people think that because it's easy. Like you see what your neighbor is doing, and you think I just have to react to that.
Right. They are
Because
selling, so I should be doing the same.
yeah, I should be doing the same or less expensive and stuff. But the reality is that if you really take into account rightly the effect of how the price of your competitor affects on the behavior of your customers, you will see that the importance is not a lot.
Okay. So you had data on your system all along. You just had to take a deep look
Yes,
at it.
exactly. The most important data is in your house. You just need AI to help you read it.
All right.
Finally, yes.
Amazing. So what are the first couple steps you recommend folks take? Like, don't delete your data.
For e-commerce, yes, of course. Don't delete your data. For example, for our case, well, to do any demand forecast related use cases to predict, for example, how much you will sell, what it will be the best pricing, etc. Usually, you would need 3 years of data at least.
3 years.
3 years
All
at
right.
least. So we need 2 years to see the trend, let's
Mm-hmm.
say, and the third year to measure the accuracy.
Of course.
So normally, yes, don't delete your data. Even data with COVID, there are ways to treat it.
Even though it's an outlier, it will be something useful.
Yes, yes, yes. Of course,
Okay.
of course. Yes. So don't delete don't delete data. First of all. Second, there are so many AI use cases out there
Uh-huh.
that are completely accessible. Like for example, at the first is starting at €100 a month.
All
Like
right.
that can help you greatly in your business. You don't have to always hire data scientists in-house to try AI. So try to take a look at all the on-the-shelf SaaS out there, try it. And if it's really, really, really like you need to build that in-house, do it. But try first, yes.
Right. Yeah. You can reinvent the wheel, of course.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can.
and it's I mean, it's science, so 90% of the work will be the same. So it will be like cloud. Actually, no one. I mean, most of companies now put their data on the cloud, right?
Yeah.
And before everyone wants to have their in-house data storage. It's exactly the same. Today, everyone wants to have in-house AI models, but they will see eventually that unless it's like the core business, better go to the cloud.
Right. Yeah. Now that you mentioned the cloud, you can have data from the last 10 years stored in cold storage, and it
Mm-hmm.
won't cost you that much. So
Yes.
yeah, if you thought about costs of saving that data and just deleting it because it would cost you, I don't know, 1, 2, or 3 extra euros, it shouldn't be that way.
No, 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 not at all. Yeah.
Now, I have some questions about data privacy.
Uh-huh.
What considerations should folks have, these e-commerce retailers have, when they are trying to comply with the law
Yes.
and then use that data in their favor?
Oh, well, they need to comply with the law.
Hmm.
That's for sure. So there's no flexibility on that, I would say. But then there are so many rich data that are not personal data.
Hmm.
Like for example, in our case, we don't need any personal data
All right.
because well, if we help customers, for example, optimizing Black Friday,
Hmm.
it's the same price for everyone, right? If you go to if you go to Zara, you buy this shirt. I go to Zara, I got the same discount, right? And so we don't need any personal data. There are also a lot of use cases that don't touch at all personal data. So don't think that all the regulation will stop you from using AI. No.
All right.
And if there is a regulation that you have to follow, yes, you have to
Comply.
completely
Comply.
follow that. No flexibility on that. Yes.
All right, amazing. So thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us, for speaking at the conference, and we hope to see you next time, maybe in a different setting, like a live stream we can do in the future, a webinar. We'd love to hear more from you.
Thank you, Diego. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye.